Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be showing you the different modes that you get if you buy an Evo 10 MR or a Mitsubishi Lancer Ralliart that has the SST transmission equipped. So I'm going to show you what it's like to drive with each of those modes, show you how to get into those modes, and talk a bit about when and why you should use each of them. Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. If you're new here and this is your first time watching one of my videos, then I make Evo 10 and Ralliart Lancer videos twice a week, every Wednesday and Sunday. So if that's something that you think you'd enjoy watching, then maybe consider subscribing to my channel so you can see my future videos. But anyway, to today's topic of the video, I want to sort of show you guys the different modes that you get if you buy an SST equipped Mitsubishi Lancer. So with the Evolution 10, the GSR with the SST option like mine, or it's the MR, or it's the SE I believe in the United States, or a Lancer Ralliart. So with these cars you get three different drive modes. So you'll get normal, sport, and then S Sport, which is commonly referred to as Super Sport. Now if you have a Lancer Ralliart, it'll only come with normal and sport. You can get the S Sport mode flashed onto the car. It costs you maybe $100 or so, and it can be done remotely. So I'll put a link in the description to someone who can do that for you, and also put a link in the description to a YouTube video explaining how that is actually done and what you'll need. But yeah, so what I thought I'd do is I'll jump in the car, I will start it up and show you exactly what the modes look like on the screen, how to get into them. And then I'll go for a quick drive and I'll drive in each of the modes and show you what it's like to actually drive in those. Now, just for reference, I 99% of the time drive in S Sport mode, in manual shifting mode, so using the paddles or the gear stick to shift. And I'll explain that why as I drive through the different modes, and you'll sort of understand. Okay, so jumping into the car, as you can see, it is the dual clutch automatic, or the twin clutch SST as Mitsubishi calls it. And we have our two paddles here, so up and down. So we'll start the car up. As you can see, it starts off in park and normal mode. So the different modes are changed down here on this little button. So if it's in normal at the moment, if I tap that up, you can see it now reads sport. Hopefully you can see that. And then if I hold it up, once it's in sport, it will go into S Sport mode. And obviously to go back down, flick it down, you're now back in sport, and then flick it down again, back in normal. And then obviously you have conventional automatic style shifter that you push down from park, reverse, neutral, drive. Then you can just drive it like that, and you see that says D1 normal, as in that is in just normal automatic mode and in normal mode, so that's going to shift for you. But if you push it across, you'll see now it just has a 1 there, so it's in manual mode. It's not going to change gears unless you actually change them. You do that by either down for upshift or up to downshift, and then obviously use your paddles as well, upshift and downshift. Also, if you leave it in automatic mode and then you shift with one of the paddles, it will go into manual mode. And then you can hold upshift and it'll go back into auto mode. So that's how you get into the different modes. What I'll do now is I will start off and I'll go for a little drive in normal mode, in automatic. I'll then flick it over into manual, just to show you the difference of the fact that you'll be in control. I'll do the same then for sport. And then lastly, we'll go into S Sport mode, and which is how I drive it 99% of the time, as it is the best for the clutches, and my car having a lot more power than factory, and as you can see, a lot of kilometers on it, 172,000 kilometers. The clutches, still being the factory ones, are a little bit tired. So the way that S Sport mode works is it allows for the faster shifting, which means the least amount of clutch slip. In normal and sport mode, the clutches are basically slipping a little bit to make the shifts nice and smooth, whereas in S Sport it's just full dump the clutch type scenario, so that will prolong the life of your clutches. So that's how I've been driving my car for the last 6 years now almost, and the clutches are still hanging on. They're slipping, which you'll probably see when I do a few shifts in different modes. But yeah, let's start off, go for a little drive around in D1 Sport. So that's going to be automatic mode, sorry, and in D1 normal, that's what we're going to start in. So I'll put the GoPro on the head mount and hopefully you'll be able to see these gears changing. If not, at least you'll be able to hear them, and it's going to stay off boost basically in this mode. But so yeah, let's get the GoPro set up and I'll show you what it looks like and what it drives like. Okay, so as you can see, hopefully you can see anyway, I'm not too sure, but this is in auto mode and normal. So take off out of this little car park. It'll probably shift into second very soon. So there's second and third. So basically we'll shift it around 2000 RPM. So head on out of here. So tempted to change gears, I'm just used to being in sport mode or super sport. So already in third, and then fourth. And if you can see the boost gauge, it is basically staying off boost. That's gone into fifth already. And we'll slow down and see if it downshifts for us. So it's going to try and stay in fifth basically, just to save fuel. Drop back into fourth there. So really back into fifth already. So really not very performance inspiring to drive in this way, but it is mimicking a normal automatic transmission. So it's gone back into third to go up this hill. So it's basically staying off boost. Great way to save fuel. And the only time I ever use this mode is actually on the motorway, as this is the mode you need to be in if you want to use cruise control. So I'll turn around here and we'll go back. So now what we'll do, the same mode, normal mode, we'll put it in manual. So now it's not going to shift. So if I take off, we're going to get up to 2000 RPM and it's going to stay in first gear. So then I'll shift it using the paddle, which I just did. It went into second. And if you could hear that shift, it was really slow. It's like a normal automatic car. It's not really driving like it's a dual clutch. So this transmission mode, like I said, is designed to let the clutches slip a lot, as it makes it really smooth. You basically don't really feel much of the shift. It's just shifts across. It's a bit of a delay, and yeah, it's still, so you can use obviously the paddles like I've been, or you can go to the stick here, so push it up to downshift into third, and then we'll pull it back down to go back into fourth. So that's basically normal mode. I don't use it ever, like I said, except for on the motorway. So what we'll do now is we will turn back around, go into sport mode, and we'll do the exact same thing on this same little stretch of road here. Okay, so normal mode, auto, toggle it up into sport mode. We'll do the same thing. We'll see if it changes into second for us again before we hit the driveway here. So that's 2000 RPM, getting us up to, still in first, so 3000 RPM before it changed into second, and then you could hear that shift us back into first again. So this mode is more trying to keep you in boost, give you a bit of boost, make it more of a sporty driving experience. So it feels really weird letting it shift for me now. So that's gone up to 4,000 RPM before it shifted into third. So it's allowing for a bit of a boost now. Feels really odd, if I'm honest, to drive it in this mode, in auto mode. So yeah, it is allowing it to get a bit of boost now. It does feel more like a performance car now compared to just driving a conventional automatic. Come up the hill. It's left us in third, so we could get up the hill nicely without having to really be sluggish up the hill before it changed gears. And it downshift us back into second, and it's going to hold second, and that was at 4,000 RPM all the way along this little stretch. So, and then it's downshift us back to first there. So I really don't enjoy driving in that mode, if I'm honest. So now we'll go back and we'll do that same road, but I'll put it in manual mode and I'll shift. So taking off here again, we're going to slot this across into manual mode. I'll use the paddles because that's just personal preference. So I'll take off in first. I'll usually short shift first just to be in second as a better gear. So it's in sport mode, it's going to try and hold the gears, like I said. But if you're in sport mode and manual, you can just, like right now, I just shift into fourth, just come down this hill. But I'm always in control, so back into third there before the end of the corner, so I can accelerate out of it. It's going to hold the gear as long as I want. It's actually going to sit off the rev limiter and just bounce off it if I don't change gears. So it is a full manual mode. It's not going to just shift for you if you're holding the gear too long. It will just stay in there. And so yeah, that's the manual mode. If you have a Ralliart, this is the way you would generally drive it, I would assume, until you get the S Sport mode flashed on. So it's not shifting down into first for me like you see, unless I come into a complete stop. It's the only time it will downshift for you if you are in, say, 6th gear and you come to a complete stop, which I'll do here. So I'm still in second from when I downshift into second. Come to a complete stop there, and then it's gone into first. So it will downshift back into first for you, just because if you come to a complete stop, it's not going to stay in 6th gear, and then when you go to take off, it's just not going to work. So it will go back to first for you. That's the only shifting it will do in manual mode. So now we're going to hold it forward again, and it's going to go into S Sport mode. Now S Sport mode basically will not ever shift gears for you for upshifting. It will always stay at around 5,000 to 7,000 RPM. It's always trying to stay into boost. So it's actually, put it back into auto, it's actually terrible to drive in automatic mode. So I've had a few people message me and ask me that had never driven a manual car before, and then this was their first sort of dual clutch. So they're asking me, you know, can I drive in S Sport mode and in auto, as I'm not used to using the paddles yet. And I highly recommend against it, as my slipping clutch isn't going to enjoy this, and the few neighbours that are around this area aren't going to enjoy this. But this is going to basically hold gears for so long, it's going to stay around 6,000 RPM. So we'll take off first, still first gear. I can't even do that to the car. I have to shift for it. I can't just sit there holding it at 5,500 RPM in first like that. Go. So that's back into auto. Put it back into auto. At least we're in second gear, and it's just sitting in second gear around here at 3,500 RPM. Still in second gear. We went right up to 5,000 RPM. It's not going to downshift or upshift. It'll pretty much hold second gear all the way around here. So we went all the way up to 6,000 RPM then. Still didn't upshift into third. And then we downshift into first around that corner, which we wouldn't really want to do. We don't want to be going back into first all the time. So as you can see, automatic mode with S Sport is, yeah, you don't really want to driving around like that all the time. It's quite weird. So again, we'll turn around, and then we'll drive in S Sport mode with manual. So using the shifter or the paddles, back down. And this is how I drive the car, usually. So you're always in control, so I don't want it to rev out to 6,000 RPM in first, so I'll change it at around 3,000 RPM to second. Then we're in second, we can do a pull. We will leave it in second still to come down this corner. We're in third there. Around this corner, we'll accelerate out of it. Leave it in third, but we won't be downshifting into second as we're still above 3,000 RPMs. We still have boost. And then we're still in third. So as you can see, that's back into fourth as we're just cruising now. So it doesn't need to hold the gear for me. I don't need it when I'm just driving, coming to a stop. I know that I'm not going to be hitting boost again. I don't need it to hold that gear for me. So it's a much better way to drive in manual mode with S Sport. And if you haven't driven like it before, or the first time you're getting into one of these with a dual clutch transmission and it's feeling a bit weird, it did to me as well. Now it feels smooth, but the Super Sport shifts, or the S Sport shifts, they are really sort of violent at first. They feel smooth to me now. When I go into normal or sport, it feels too smooth, like I can feel the slip. But the S Sport mode is, I'd say, yeah, the first time you're driving it, it feels violent. It feels like couldn't be good for the car. A lot of people think it's not at first, but many tuners and people that work on these transmissions will tell you that S Sport and manual is the best way to be driving it, unless you're just sitting on the motorway. Then normal is fine, because you're not going through gears a lot. You're just sitting in 6th gear and it's going to be fine. So yeah, just to go through the modes again, here's where you shift them. So we're in S Sport at the moment. I'm not sure if you can see that with the angle I have on the GoPro, but it's in S Sport, back down to Sport, back down to normal. One thing I will point out also is that if you're driving along, you can actually only get into S Sport when you're stopped or going under about 10 kilometers an hour. So, which can be annoying. So the reason why I don't use cruise control that often is if, say you're just going to use cruise control for 5 minutes on the motorway and then you're back into normal traffic, you'd have to come to a complete stop before you can get back into S Sport mode. You can go from S Sport down to Sport, down to normal while you're driving, and you go from normal into Sport, but you just can't go back into S Sport mode. And one other thing I'll just add is that if you're driving along and you're in auto mode and you want to, say you're in driving along and you've been in manual mode, in S Sport mode, and you're like, okay, I'm in, 6th gear or whatever, I want to go back into cruise control. Don't make the mistake I've done a few times when driving on the highway, thinking, okay, I need to go into auto mode and then go back down to normal so I can put cruise control on. What you want to do is, before you change back into auto mode, so you're driving along, before you do anything like that, I would recommend you go from S Sport into normal, then go across into auto. Because if you just shift across into auto mode while you're in Super Sport, like you saw how long it holds the gears, it will downshift from 6 back to about 2nd or something on the motorway. Your engine will absolutely scream up to the RPMs, it's about 7, and that's not really what you want to do when you're just trying to get into cruise control. Okay guys, so that's about everything I wanted to go through today with the different modes in the SST transmission. So I hope you guys found that helpful. It's definitely something that I was looking for when I was looking to buy my car. I just wanted to see how it drove. I soon found out when I bought it that basically S Sport and manual is how I would be driving it the majority of the time. But it's still helpful to see how it sort of behaves when you're in the different modes. So yeah, I thought I'd make that video and just sort of show you guys. So hopefully, yeah, you found it helpful. If you did, please consider giving the video a like, as it does help the video get promoted more by YouTube. The more likes and comments it has, it actually gets more spread across YouTube. It shows that people are engaging in the videos. So yeah, if you want to help me out, and just give the video a like. And if you do enjoy watching Evo 10 and Ralliart content, then like I said, consider subscribing to the channel, as it would also really help me. I'm pretty new to this whole YouTube thing, been going for about 9 months now, but learning as I go, so trying to make the best videos I can for you guys, give you something to watch. And I don't know everything, I'm very new to working on cars, but what I have learnt over the few years of owning this car, I'm trying to help out by showing little tips and tricks and install videos where I can. Some things I have no idea what I'm doing, so I still have to get done professionally, but yeah, still helping out where I can. As when I bought this car, I had no idea how to do anything, couldn't remove the front bumper, it was beyond me, and just doing little basic things like installing an intake panel filter and intercooler piping, the blow-off valve. That was the sort of stuff that I felt comfortable doing. Anything other than that, I would pay someone to do, even installing headlights. So now I've done videos on a lot of those things, like removing the bumper, installing headlights, and many other things that I didn't feel comfortable doing at the time. So hopefully the videos are helping you guys out. And yeah, if they are, then definitely let me know in a comment. But with that said, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.